Hi, and welcome back to the Bearded Historian. Today's episode will be slightly different to what we've done so far. Instead of looking at actual historical events, we'll take a quick field trip into the world of alternative history. Welcome to What If? Zombie Outbreak in Ancient Rome. Together we will take a closer look at the potential development and consequences of a viral outbreak in ancient Rome, turning people into mindless, brain-sucking death crawlers, something we'd commonly describe as zombies today. But we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right to it. There are a few ground rules we have to establish before looking at a scenario like this in any more detail. Rule number 1. The time frame. Ancient Rome is a fine label, but it covers hundreds of years of history. So when is this outbreak happening, and in what state of preparedness and response readiness is the Roman Empire? Rule number 2. The zombies. Modern pop culture has turned zombies into a bit of a thing, and we've seen them in all shapes and variations. There have been slow zombies, fast zombies, dumb zombies, smart zombies, big zombies, small zombies, really just a whole load of different zombies. And all of these zombies come with different attributes. Some can only be killed through decapitation or severe brain trauma. Others can starve or even freeze to death. If we want to theorize about a potential outbreak in the Roman Empire, we need to know exactly which kind of adversary we are dealing with, rather than making these things up as we go along. And last but not least, there's one crucial element remaining. Rule number 3, the virus itself. Where did it come from? How fast is it turning the infected into the walking dead? And most importantly, how is it spreading? Does one have to be bitten to be infected? Does it require the exchange of salvia or bodily fluids? Is it airborne? Are humans the only ones carrying the virus? So, for the sake of our scenario, let's agree on the following framework. The outbreak is occurring at around 117 AD, with Rome arguably being at the height of its power and formidability. Our zombies are of the widely established slow and mindless variety, driven only by their insatiable hunger for human flesh. They either walk around on their own, in smaller groups, or the occasional bigger horde, without any apparent pattern or strategy. And while they are certainly hungry, neither starvation nor any other external influence will see to their demise. That is, of course, with the exception of anything resulting in the total destruction of their brains. And lastly, there is the virus itself. Our scenario will subscribe to the theory of a rabies-flu hybrid that, while being highly contagious, does have one key limitation. It's not airborne. The ways to get infected are plentiful nonetheless, and not necessarily limited to humans only. Depending on a person's immune system and how they got infected, the symptoms of the virus will generally start to show after 1 to 4 days, quite like they do with the common flu. And now that we've been able to get all the theory out of the way, let's set the clock back to 110 AD and look at how the events would play out. Our story begins in the province of Egypt and the marshy banks of the Upper Nile. 2 brothers had been living off the fertile lands surrounding the vast-reaching Nile all their lives. Mahu, the local stonemason, had seen his business thrive under Roman rule. The demand for his craftsmanship allowed for a good and steady life. But fate had taken a cruel turn on him one evening as he rested near a pond on his way back from the quarry. Soon his world, and with it the world of everyone around him, would change forever. His brother Mercer, on the other hand, had spent most of his younger years serving in the village's temple guard, and only recently enrolled in the local Roman auxiliary cohort. The prospect of better pay and the Roman citizenship for him and his family after serving just 25 years was simply too much to resist. It wouldn't be long before the two brothers would face each other in a conflict unlike anything Rome had encountered before. And we will be here along for the ride, using their conflict to illustrate what such a catastrophic event would do to an otherwise stable empire in its prime. To maintain some level of structure, we will work our way through the events in several separate chapters. And we will start by observing Mahu for just a little while longer after his unfortunate mosquito incident. Soon after coming home that night, Mahu started feeling ill. So ill, in fact, that he immediately went to the village's doctor the next morning. It didn't take too long. It was just a common cold after all, the doctor said. He was prescribed bed rest and some herbal potions. A treatment that goes a long way in showing why this viral outbreak would have been nigh uncontrollable for the Roman Empire. Medical science was advanced in comparison to anything that had come before, but unfortunately not nearly advanced enough to truly understand on a biological level what could be done to identify and combat a new virus like this effectively. Not the local village doctor, nor any of the brilliant minds in the empire's cultural and scientific hubs would have been able to truly understand or treat what they were up against. Not now, nor in the time that was left before the virus had spread beyond the controllable state. So Mahu went home again. He made a quick stop at the local farmer's market. After all, his wife had made it very clear that she wouldn't serve anything but the best dishes for their expected guests. A local magistrate had invited himself for dinner to discuss upcoming repair works required for the county's temple district. The dinner went well, despite Mahu feeling even worse than the previous day. Business promised to be good, even better than before, and he had high hopes for what the future would hold. All the while, Mahu didn't realize nor see the virus slowly spreading to everyone and everything around him. In a matter of days, his village, the county, and even the county capital saw reports of an aggressive flu virus spreading. The capital's close quarters and city walls, usually great defenses in times of military conflict, now were at risk to succumb to an unknown enemy from within. If anything, they made the situation worse by providing a perfect nurturing ground for the virus. Urban centers such as this one were fewer and far in between in the 2nd century AD, but provided vital stability and administrative oversight for the empire. Once infected, the consequences were far-reaching. Mahu's village was merely the starting point, and within a matter of days the situation had already escalated considerably. Limited transportation speeds across the Roman road network meant that the virus wouldn't spread as fast as it would in our modern, globally interconnected world, yet still fast enough to have infected the region's population long before Mahu suffered the final consequences of the virus. On the 4th day after the fateful afternoon at the pond, Mahu's immune system finally gave in. He awoke to a world that would never quite be the same again. Join us next time to see the arrival of the Walking Dead and the Roman Empire reacting to what could potentially be the biggest threat it has ever faced. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe if you like what you saw and leave a comment in the section below.